Welcome to the May 1st, 2023 school board meeting. Please stand for a moment of silence followed by the prayer, by the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have no amendments to the agenda. At this point, we will adopt the agenda. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I move to adopt the agenda.
We have a motion by Mr. Carroll.
I second.
Second by Ms. Knight. All in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. Public comment? We have no public comment tonight. Consent agenda items? Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
I move to approve the consent agenda items.
Second?
I second.
Discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. Items for individual consideration. 5.1, concession stand bid tabulation. Ms. Joseph?
Okay, Madam Chair, what I have before you is a bid. We need to upgrade the concession stands on the football field at Madison County High School. We need to upgrade the home concession stand as well as the visitors concession stand. I really don't think we've done any major renovation or upkeep on those facilities since they've been there, and the public have been saying there have been wear and tear, and it is time. And so what we've come up, Mr. Ginn has come up with a bid of $56,506.87. He's still trying, he has bid them out appropriately, but he's still coming up with he might come a little cheaper, but this will be the max. And it will include the roof, the painting, new bathroom stalls, plumbing, and the works.
So who got the bid?
You got several people doing the
I
bid.
saw that, but I'm saying who got it?
There's
That's what
several
I'm trying to
contractors.
answer you, is several different contractors. For the roofing, it's Affordable Roofing. For the painting, it's Robinson and Son. And this Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, that's the hook. I think those are the partitions in the bathroom. And the Maxwell Construction, that's another component that we'll need. But it is several different components.
Okay, so I did see that where each person was gonna do something separate, but I thought I saw some other bids
No,
too.
it's not,
Okay.
it's gonna be a team of people working on that, and hopefully we can get this completed.
So we didn't have any other bids?
These were the winners of the bid. He had other bids, I don't know where they
But
are.
usually we are privy to those things. He doesn't get to decide. We are usually privy to these things. So we're just bidding on what he's saying, not what we've been seeing and what we've been given. It's never been like that before, where all this, I decide and I don't present any other bids. Mr. Attorney?
Yes, ma'am, that is normally the way it goes. You would get a packet with all the bids, and then he'd make a recommendation as to which of
Exactly.
those bids, and then you all would approve those bids.
Well, I think he does have two bids for the roofing
Yes.
and two bids for the
Partitions.
petitions in
So
the
that's what
bathroom.
I was seeing.
Yeah,
There
but
is-
now I don't know if he had another bid for painting or not. I mean,
Based on the purchasing policy, anything under 10,000, he does not need to take out the bids.
I got you.
The two pieces of that are under 10,000.
I got you.
So that's what we are doing now to get around what the school board is supposed to approve, bidding it off under $10,000.
Well, the school board approved the purchasing policy.
Yes, ma'am, that's what I'm saying. But normally, but what's the difference, letting us decide? Well, it's okay. I've been off the board 4 years. So much has changed in the last 4 years. This has never been a problem. Carol, this has never been a problem.
Agree. Do we have a motion to approve the concession stand bid tabulation?
Madam Chair, I move to accept the bid for the concession stand improvements.
We have a motion by Ms. Knight, second.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Carroll. Any discussion?
The one on the visitor side, that's used by baseball, softball,
Correct.
track.
And track and girls flag football. Yeah.
Okay.
So everybody utilizes that restroom and stuff over there.
And I have had concerns about the restrooms,
Yes,
for sure.
ma'am.
I've been there for the last 8 years working in the concession
Yes.
stand on the visitor side.
Yes.
And so we have had concerns.
And
I
the
do
visitor
know that it
side
needs
is
to
much
be
better than the home
repaired.
side.
The home
home side's
side-
worse than that
The
side.
home side was
I
terrible.
think the last work was done that Kenny and Bart did that work, that was done there. And just a little bit of dressing up. We do need it, but I'm just saying the process now that's going about it.
Any more discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. 5.2, personnel changes. Mr. Killingsworth?
Good evening.
Evening.
Good evening.
This evening, I have two names to bring before you, one being a leave of absence, that is Miss Atwell, and then the second being Miss Patty Smith, which just retired actually Friday,
Yeah.
as far as personnel from that perspective. However, we have one substitute bus monitor, which is Mr. Willie Mitchell, that I'm asking your permission, and then two tutors that would go with the program that started last year where the students do some of the tutoring, and that being Josh Hill and Zarian McDaniels.
Now, you said somebody retired, Miss Patty who?
Pat Smith.
Pat Smitty, one of our bus
Okay.
drivers,
Is that?
and she had to do part of that due to drop.
Yeah. Do we have a motion to approve the personnel changes?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
We have a motion by
Theodore.
Ms. Knight? Okay. Second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Hagan. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. 5.3, volunteers. Mr. Killingsworth?
Okay, we have 8 names before you tonight. 2 of them strictly for the high school, which is Miss Horn and Miss Davis. We have Miss McGahee for Greenville, and then Mr. and Miss Beezer for Lee Elementary, as well as Miss Turpin. And then we have Miss Hutchinson for Lee and the high school, and then Miss Wells for the central school volunteering, or requesting permission to volunteer.
Do we have a motion to approve the volunteers?
I move to approve the volunteer list.
We have a motion by Ms. Thompson.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hagan. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Killingsworth.
Yes, ma'am.
5.4, non-instructional recommendations. Mr. Killingsworth.
Yes, ma'am. Before you, you have basically 3 1/4 pages of non-instructional employees that we're recommending back at this time. And then if you'll look at the bottom of that 4th page, then there are 8 instructional employees. Remember, I told you that there would be some additional that we're bringing at this time that I'm asking for your approval for next school year. And again, there could be a few more non-instructional based on some events that may go on between now and the end of the year. But these are the ones that we're asking based on the staffing at this time that y'all approve.
Do we have a motion to approve the non-instructional recommendations?
I move to approve the non-instructional recommendations
We have
with the addition of the 8 teachers or
Instruction.
instruction.
We have a motion by Mr. Carroll, second.
I second.
Second by Ms. Knight. Any discussion? All in favor? Raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. 5.5, policy revisions, public hearing. We'll stop for a moment for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Open it.
Open it, we will open it for public hearing. Seeing there's no public to speak, we'll go ahead, Mr. Killingsworth.
Yes, ma'am. We're asking your approval of there are 29 policies that we previously had gone on. We actually had broken some up into 2 different sections. This is the second group of those, which is 29 that we also did the workshop with, that I'm asking your approval so that we can adopt.
Do we have a motion to approve the policy revisions?
I move to approve the policy revisions.
We have a motion by Mr. Carroll, second.
I second.
Second by Ms. Thompson. Any discussion?
Probably better to, but it doesn't.
The only thing I have to say is reading over all these policies, I zeroed in on policy 2111, which is parent and family involvement. And I want to thank Mrs. Joseph for calling a meeting of all the families, all the parents and guardians this past week at Madison County Central. Because we know that parents are the first teacher and decision makers, as the policy says. And I look forward to more of these meetings in the future, possibly at the different schools. Any more discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Killingsworth. 5.6, Edmentum Program License. Mrs. Joseph?
Okay, Madam Chair. This is a contract with Edmonton. They provide our online services courseware, and we use this service for credit recovery at Madison County High School and Madison County Central School. This will be for the next year license.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Joseph.
It's for $16,600.
Isn't it
It's a
2 years?
2-year contract.
2 years, a
Two-year.
2-year contract. It's $16,630.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the Edmentum Program License,
This
credit
is-
recovery?
Can I ask one thing for you?
Yes.
You got on the first term here, it says it's a 24-month period, but then
The last-
customer success services is 12 months. So are we on our own after the first year?
Okay, if you look, they listed separately. The first year is listed by itself, and then the second year is listed by itself,
Okay, all right,
okay?
okay.
Thank you, Mr. Reeves.
Yep.
Do we have a motion to approve the Edmentum Program License?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the license.
We have a motion by Ms. Knight, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hagan. Any discussion?
Is this the program we've been using?
Yes, this is a program that we've been using, and it's for the kids that's kind of missing a class or need to redo a class and help them catch up and not be behind. And we're using for classes that they fail for at Central School and at the high
Do
school.
we use it for summer school too?
Yes, we will use it for summer school.
Thank you, Mrs. Joseph. All in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. 5.7, Edmonton Program License.
Okay, this costs a little bit more, and what this component, again, this is some more online learning. What this does, you got 2 different components. We've got the reading eggs, and you've got exact path. What that does, that creates a learning path for students after they take the STAR test. We've identified there's areas of deficits, and so this comes in and provide tutoring for them in specific areas.
Now, that's for K1 and 2?
Okay, no, that reading eggs for K and 2, but the
Okay.
exact path is 2 through 12.
Okay,
And all kids take that STAR test.
right, okay. Thank you, Mrs. Joseph. Do we have a motion to approve the Edmonton program license?
I move to approve the Edmonton program license for reading eggs and exact path.
We have a motion by Mr. Carroll, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hagan. Any discussion?
Where does the funding come from this? Ashley,
Coming out of this.
This is gonna come out of ESSER,
this time,
This,
yes.
okay, I got you.
All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. 5.8, Florida Virtual School BLC Agreement. Mrs. Joseph?
Okay, that BLC is that Blended Learning Community Agreement, and it's a requirement that we affiliate with some virtual provider. And this is all this is doing. This doesn't cost us anything, okay, but we are affiliated with the virtual provider. If a student needs a class and they need to take a class through Florida Virtual School, we can carve out a time within their day, they can do it on campus, okay? Now, we will have to pay for that class, but this is our vehicle.
This is the vehicle to get to that class?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Joseph. Do we have a motion to approve the Florida Virtual School BLC agreement?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the Florida Virtual School BLC agreement.
We have a motion by Ms. Hagan, second.
A second.
Second by Mr. Carroll. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. 5.9, Florida Virtual School VLL Agreement. Ms. Joseph?
Okay, again, this is just a continuation of the prior contract. It's another piece to it, saying that we will establish a lab for the kids to actually go in if needed.
So we're saying we'll provide the lab for them?
Yes, if a child needs to have a Florida virtual class, we will provide a space on campus for that.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Joseph. Do we have a motion to approve the Florida Virtual School VLL Agreement?
I move to approve the Florida Virtual School VLL agreement.
We have a motion by Ms. Thompson, second.
I second.
Second by Ms. Knight. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. 5.10, field trips. Mrs. Joseph?
Okay, Madam Chair, our field trips, our first field trip is a field trip request from the band for, it's a pleasure trip. It's a fun trip to celebrate this school year's accomplishment. We approved it for May 6th, and they're changed it to May 13th, and it is being paid for by them. The district is not paying for that. The second field trip is by the high school high-tech, and this is being paid for by that grant that they received, and it's for June 1st, and they're going down to Jacksonville.
Thank you, Mrs. Joseph. Do we have a motion to approve the field trips?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the field trips as listed.
We have a motion by Ms. Knight to approve the field trip, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Carroll. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. Staff travel, Ms. Joseph?
Okay, staff travel, we have a staff travel request from Mr. Rod Williams to attend the Juvenile Justice Education Manager Annual Meeting. This is a requirement that we have with the DJJ because there's a lot of paperwork involved in it now. We need to know the requirements of that program, and that is being paid for out of the general fund.
So, Mr. Greg Ray, does he attend any of these things?
I don't know, Mr. Ray is not our employee, so we don't send him on trips, so I can't tell you whether he's.
But I know that he's employed by the sheriff department. That's the reason I'm asking, so that you can see if the sheriff department send anybody.
Okay, I will check and see whether he, is he, to this particular meeting? I'll check, I don't
Okay.
know about that.
Thank you, because if Mr. Mr. Williams is gonna attend, the sheriff department should send someone too, their person, and Mr. Ray is the sergeant in charge, isn't he? Of the SROs.
No, it's Jason Whitfield.
Jason Whitfield.
Jason Whitfield's in charge of all the SROs.
Oh, okay.
And Doug Haskell
On campus?
on,
Doug is on campus.
yeah.
Okay, but somebody from there needs to attend.
I will check because I didn't know they were involved with the DJJ program.
Thank you, Ms. Joseph.
Okay? And
we-
this-
And a juvenile justice.
Oh. You're finished?
All
No.
sheriff departments and police too involved.
I've got one other, it's an Innovative School Summit in Atlanta, Georgia. Mr. Chris Neal is asking to attend that, and that's paid for out of some Title I funds. And it's to assist him in working with the caliber of students we have at the Bridge program.
Do we have a motion to approve the staff travel?
I move to approve the staff travel.
We have a motion by Mr. Carroll, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hagan. Any discussion? All right, sounds like many of these trips will benefit our students. That's good. All in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. 5.12, supplemental pay, Ms. Joseph.
Okay, this is something to clean our books up. They thought this was approved, but that she had sent it to the wrong person. And the baseball JV coach Kevin Singletary and the boys weightlifting coach Price Harris, they were put on a supplemental list, and it was put on in time. It was just submitted to, I never did bring it before the board.
So they've been doing it all year long,
They did during their proper season.
in their season, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But they were never approved, so we cannot give them the supplement until the board approved them.
Thank you, Ms. Joseph. Do we have a motion to approve the supplemental pay?
I move to approve the supplemental pay.
We have a motion by Mr. Carroll, second.
I second.
Second by Ms. Thompson. Any discussion?
I have a discussion on this one. I mentioned it previously when the list came up, and I only know because I'm involved with that particular sport at the time.
You're
There-
involved with what?
With the sport that's
Oh, okay.
that's involved. And the JV softball coach that's listed on there is not actually the JV softball coach. So I don't know if that was ever addressed or not.
It was, this is the first time this is the first time I'm hearing this. You might have said it, but I'm saying this is the
Right.
first time I'm hearing it. And that person have been paid. Can you speak to me after the meeting and I can get with the principal about that?
Absolutely.
Should
You
we?
said JV, this already been approved.
It's already been approved, yes.
And so the person have already been paid.
Are they a teacher?
No.
But they haven't
Okay.
been paid yet. They're not a teacher, they
But
haven't
it
been
has been
paid.
approved.
But it's been approved.
I know, but we hadn't actually gave any money yet.
But it has
Okay,
been approved.
because
Previously, it has been approved.
if
So
it's
there's
been
another procedure
approved,
that
we
you have
owe
to
the
do.
person when the season is over. Talk with me after the
Yes,
meeting and
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'll handle it. You said the JV softball?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. We have a motion by, is it Mr. Carroll?
Yep.
And a second by Ms. Thompson. Okay, all those in favor? Becky, 5-0. Superintendent items?
Okay, I've got a few items. A reminder about Master Board training, June 21st, we're gonna try to have it at the same place. And that is what we said, is
Yes, ma'am.
all day?
All day.
Okay, I'm going back with my dates.
Remember we did, and then we changed it.
Okay, May 25th and 26th, that's an early release day. The kids get out around 1 o'clock or so. Okay, I'm gonna have an end of the year appreciation luncheon, and at that luncheon, I'm also gonna recognize the retirees. The luncheon will be May 30th at the high school from 11 to 1. Also, at our May 15th board meeting, okay, we will recognize the retirees. In prior years, we've been having retirees reception, and the attendance got very poor, okay? And so, this is my idea that we will get better exposure if they would, we would invite them to a board meeting, and so we'll have time to recognize them there. And then at the luncheon on the 30th, at the end of the year, all their peers will be with them. Okay, and I guess, Ms., you're gonna tell them about the May 31st meeting? Okay, well, what also I need to pass out to you, I promised you an end of the year schedule, and so I'm passing that out to you. I've got one for you. Sit on that now.
Thank you.
And the high school had a showcase the other day of their various programs. I'm passing that down to you. That just was their calendar. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Joseph. Mr. Reeves?
Just briefly, I thought we had a good meeting, the joint meeting with the Board of County Commissioners. Pursuant to both boards' instructions, we've set another meeting for May 31st. That will be a another joint meeting. We put in, that meeting's already, or the notice for that meeting's already gone out. It will be advertised 2 weeks before, come out in the paper 2 weeks before. It's already been posted, I believe, out here and at the county. And it's being posted as recommending as that you all are considering that one specific plan. I don't remember, it was 3A or something, whatever it was. And all that, so that's set to go. And now once we complete the joint meeting, if everyone is good with that, then we'll, at our next board meeting or, thereabouts, we'll have a resolution for you all to adopt that does the new, districts, and then that'll be that.
Thank you, Mr. Reeves.
Yes, ma'am.
May I ask him a question?
Sure.
On our next board meeting, which is May 15th, can I agenda an item and we can have time to discuss that?
Sure.
Is that something that you would like?
Yeah, I mean, if we could,
I mean, if you don't want to discuss it, that's fine, but I want to know, did you want to discuss it among yourself as a board before you go back? And I can agenda the item for us.
I think that's a good
I
idea.
think it is.
just, it wouldn't hurt to
Yeah.
look over it.
Yeah.
Just if anybody needs to have discussion, yeah.
Has any questions?
Mr. Reeves,
Ma'am.
do you have those lines?
Lines, I'm sorry.
Do you have those lines of the district, the redrawing of those lines?
I don't have them personally, but I know they've got them like at the county office. They've got them, and we can get them for you if you
Yes.
Okay.
With the street names on, or the road names?
No, our district has been changed.
I know,
Something has-
that's what I wanted to know,
Yeah.
where, I mean.
Yeah,
like-
something has been added and taken away,
Right.
so that's what I need to know, what has been added, what has been taken.
Right. I don't know that I've got them with the street names on it. I've got with the,
I mean, I got that little black line on mine, but I don't know.
But then
what
it
the
doesn't
road
have
is.
any,
Right.
Yeah.
Details.
details on it.
Details.
Mhm. We got that, but it doesn't have the details.
all right,
So-
let me talk to the consultant and see if he can give me that, because so that y'all can, and I think if I'm understanding you right, what you want is, especially where the changes are, you want the street, I mean, if it's 5 miles in your district, you probably don't need the street name on that. You need it right where the changes are,
Yeah,
so
right.
you can
Yes.
see where
Yes,
it's.
yes.
Okay. Let me see if I can get that from you.
Thank you, Mr. Reeves. Ms. Knight?
I just, too, want to take a quick second to acknowledge the high school doing the Cowboy Showcase. It was great to see what everybody's working on and what's going on with the teachers and the students. I greatly appreciate them staying afterwards, and just want to recognize the staff and the administrators that stayed to put that together. And I want to encourage the parents to get more involved. We just had a superintendent's meeting as well, and we're trying to get feedback from you to be better and to do the things that we need to do in order for you to be engaged and for you to know what's going on in the district. But we need you to participate in that. So I just want to encourage the parents, once again, to pay attention to the activities that are going on, pay attention to the calendars, and please, participate in these things so that we can do better for you and your students. And I do just want to mention one other thing. I've mentioned it a couple other times, and I just want to see where the other board members are on this. I know we're getting into the end of the year, and even if we have to push it out to a later date, I do want to start scheduling some budget workshops so that we can start crunching some numbers, because I don't know how many times Ms. Raynock can tell us that we're in trouble and we just sit here and smile. So I would really like to get some workshops scheduled for us to start working on some budgeting.
May I ask a question? You want any specific budget workshop, you want to just globally?
I just think we need to start looking at where we can start, you know, cutting corners and trimming some of the fat so that we can be prepared for some of these changes that are going to, you know, affect us negatively. You know, we're going to be losing a lot of FTEs with a lot of these House bills and these changes that are coming in, and we need to start preparing in advance for that stuff. We can't wait for it to happen and find ourselves in a negative position. So I just think we need to start preparing in advance for what's coming down the pipeline.
I agree.
And I agree also, and I'd also like to acknowledge Ms. Raynick. She's been
Yes.
keeping us abreast of what's going on
Absolutely.
very
She's doing an
thoroughly.
amazing job.
And we're not just sitting here smiling about it. I mean, it's very serious, you know,
No,
this
I-
is, you know, a very serious thing.
Right, and
But
we need to
we
start
can-
addressing
We
it.
can accommodate,
Yes.
yes.
Can I just ask that, before we start the budget,
Mm-hmm.
workshops, that we wait for the legislation to be
Yes.
finalized? Yes.
It'll be
Yes.
within
Right.
a week or
I
two.
just-
Uh-huh.
Really where the impact is, because it's changing on an hourly basis.
Yeah, and like I said, I want us to just acknowledge that we need to start getting some dates set so that we can start working on this. I mean, I know this, you know, next 60 days is gonna be crazy, but I do wanna see us start moving in that direction and just getting some dates on the calendar before we get too overwhelmed with, you know, the future months as well.
Well, you can go ahead and set them, just set them
Yeah.
far enough out.
Yes,
so-
Correct, and
May
that's-
is a very, extremely busy month.
That's what I said, the next 60 days is crazy for all of us, so
Well,
I just.
after May is over
Yeah,
with, it's a
I
little
think we
better.
just need
but-
to start planning out, yes.
Yes. Well,
So,
thank you. Ms. Thompson?
I too would like to say thank you to everyone at the high school for a wonderful job on the Cowboy Showcase. We enjoyed a wonderful meal that was prepared by the culinary department. I enjoyed getting to go around and meet with teachers and see students and parents there. I also would like to say Happy National Principals Day. Today is National Principals Day, May 1st. And there's a different time set aside for our assistant principals, but I would like to say thank you to Mr. White, Ms. Bridges, Mr. Self, Ms. Brown, Ms. Bean, Ms. Davis, Mr. Brooks, for all of your hard work that you do every day for your staff and students. You're very appreciated. And that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Carroll?
Again, I get to say the same,
Ditto.
I get to say
That's-
ditto.
It's never stopped me.
But I do appreciate all our principals, I appreciate all our teachers, mostly I appreciate all our students for coming to our school and for being a part of our school. So, basically, school's about students. That's what we gotta look for. So, anyway, that's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Carroll.
And I would like to also thank everybody, these people have said, my fellow two school board members have said, I would like to thank those people too. But I'd also like to thank the people who are in the audience. Please don't let this be your last day. Please attend school board meetings so that you can see what's going on. We know that it's advertised and it's broadcast and whatever, but please come. And please get your friends and other folk to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hagan. I had the opportunity to attend a spring concert at Madison County Central School on May 20th. I'd like to thank Mr. Edwards and all those who assisted with that. I also attended a spring concert at Madison Creative Arts Academy. Thank you to Mr. Dillard and company. On the May 24th, on April 24th at Madison County High School, I also attended the Cowboy Showcase, and I enjoyed the delicious meal prepared by Ms. Kelly's culinary class. I visited all the classrooms, and I'd like to thank Mr. Brooks and Ms. Hurst for what they do at the high school. I'd like to acknowledge our resource officer tonight, Mr. David Myers, and we'd like to thank you and all the Madison County Sheriff Department for what you do each and every day. I'm looking forward to the Madison County High School Spring Concert tomorrow night, NFC, at 6 o'clock. and I know it will be fabulous. Thank you very much.
Man, age brief.
Do we have a motion to close the meeting?
Madam Chair, I move to adjourn.
We have a motion by Ms. Knight. All in favor?
And
Jackie,
actually,
5-0.
and actually, it's a recess because we got.
Yeah, just a recess.
Recess.
Yes.